lose 10-2 in the final game of a 4-game set at Skydome against the Orioles. Yeah. Kevin Gausman started for the Jays in this one, and things got pretty bad for him pretty quick. Gave up a run on a series of close plays in the first. That's all fine. Second inning was smooth sailing. And then we came to the third. So 2 starts ago, we had a not great start from Kevin, where it looked like he might have been tipping his pitches to the Minnesota Twins, and they knocked him around a bit. But did it in such a way as to make it quite clear that, yeah, when Kevin loses one of his pitches, when he can't throw it effectively, he doesn't have too many others in his bag that he can rely upon. This one didn't feel like that. This one felt much more like there was a game plan for the Blue Jays. There was an approach that they were trying, and the Orioles figured it out pretty quick, and the Blue Jays were too slow to change. Specifically, the Orioles had runners on second and third with nobody out. After an unfortunate error by Santiago Espinal, that's very much an outlier. He's an excellent defensive third baseman, but that was not a great play, bouncing off of his glove and rolling towards left field, and then no one really went to go get it, and that allowed both runners to advance. Anyway, not a great play all the way around. The plan between Gausman and rookie catcher Gabriel Moreno, I mentioned he's a rookie for a reason that I'll come back to, the plan seemed to be get ahead with the fastball and then work off of that. And the Orioles seemed to know that that was the plan and came into the beginning of every at-bat looking to crush the baseball. It was something like, of the next 4 or 5 batters, all but one of them crushed the ball on the first pitch of the at-bat. And since that first pitch was a get-me-over fastball to try to get ahead 0-1, they were all eminently hittable. Really easy to hit pitches, like middle. And it seems like after the first or the second time that happens, maybe you think about throwing an off-speed pitch or something out of the zone to try to elicit a swing and miss to get your first strike. But no, that's not what they did. Gausman seemed to just keep trying to lay that first pitch fastball in there for a strike, and it just kept getting hit, and then eventually he's out of the game. Down 6-0 with a runner on third base, and that runner would have come in to score when David Phelps gave up a single, not on the first pitch, refreshingly. But I brought up Gabriel Moreno's rookie status because, everyone talks about how confident this kid, everyone talks about how comfortable he is at the big league level, how he has no problem going up and talking to a guy. How comfortable did he really feel to go up to Kevin Gausman, an established big league pitcher, like at this point the number 2 pitcher on the team, and say, hey man, maybe we should try something different? I did note that Gausman shook off Moreno's first pitch comm input several times before getting to the one he liked, and the one he liked was usually fastball to try to get ahead in the count, which then got hit. I also noticed that Moreno several times looked in towards the Blue Jays dugout trying to communicate with either Pete Walker or Charlie Montoyo to be like, what do we want to do here? It just didn't feel like Moreno was in the situation that I feel like Danny Jansen or Alejandro Kirk would have been in, where they could take a minute, go out to the mound, talk with Gausman, figure out what's going on, figuring out what they need to change, what's working, what's not working, what can we do. But instead, Moreno stayed back there, Gausman stayed on the fastball to get ahead, and the Blue Jays were down 7-0. It just seems to me that the whole you're tipping your pitches thing against Minnesota has Kevin really, really rattled. This is 3 starts in a row now where he just doesn't seem as confident or as comfortable in his pitch selection. He had pretty good numbers against Detroit, the worst hitting team in baseball the last time out, but honestly, he still seemed a little indecisive in knowing what he wants to pitch. He was working a lot slower than he had been earlier in the season, and he still got hit hard. It's just a lot of the hard hit balls ended up finding gloves. This time around, not so lucky. He was sprayed all over the ballpark. Lots of hard-hit balls. The fact that none of them left the ballpark is, frankly, a bit of a miracle, but it was just double after double after double after double. It was disheartening. So, from the Moreno angle, a lot of that's going to come from inexperience. It's going to come from when you have a better standing as a big leaguer and you feel like you don't have to defer to anyone anymore. Maybe that scenario doesn't happen anymore, because by all indications, he's a very confident and competent receiver of the baseball, and he's a guy who works in tandem with his pitcher rather than for his pitcher. So yeah, I think that with time and experience that will go away. But today it just didn't seem like Gabriel was that comfortable stopping the game and going out to talk to his pitcher. On the other hand, with Walker and Montoyo, I don't know what they were doing, sitting around waiting to go and talk to Gausman and figure out what's going on. I, an utter layman, was able to detect what's happening here and be like, yeah, someone needs to tell this guy that he needs to stop throwing first pitch fastballs because they're crushing them. And for Gausman, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if it's he just doesn't believe that his splitter is something that he can throw consistently anymore because he's gotten away from it in a big way. And that was, that was such a well-known thing for him that when he was advertised, when he comes to the Blue Jays, okay, who's this Kevin Gausman guy other than a guy we used to knock around when he was terrible for the Orioles? It was a guy who has a good fastball at the top of the zone and a splitter that absolutely dives into the dirt and guys swing over the top of them and look foolish. And he can do that, 30 starts a year, and that's great. He's gotten away from it. He's just lost confidence in it. And when that was his thing that he did for the last several years, that's something. I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something happening there. On the other side of the equation, the Blue Jays offensively just were flailing away at this guy, Tyler Wells, who's a Rule 5 pick from somewhere, and now he's just went to the Tyler Yarborough school of Blue Jay bat befuddlement. Just you throw a fastball often enough to keep him honest, and then it's just junk that dies in the dirt, and the Jays swing over top of it for 6 innings, and by the time he's out of the game, the Jays are also very much checked out and out of the game. It's just, this is exactly the kind of pitcher that for whatever reason, this group of Blue Jays hitters, they don't know what to do with him. They just don't know. They just can't handle it. They just swing right over the top of it. I would honestly rather this Blue Jays team faced Garrett Cole than a guy who went to the Ryan Yarborough school of Blue Jay befuddlement, because Cole is up there being I'm the best and I'm going to show you how much the best I am. Whereas all of these junk ballers just I'm just going to throw some junk up there and you can't hit it, and if you decide to not swing at it, I'm in trouble, but you're going to swing at it, so I'm fine. And that's what happens every time. I don't know how many strikeouts the Blue Jays had today. First of all, they didn't have very many, but I think all of them were on pitches out of the zone. And if you just don't swing at that junk, you'll probably get a walk. Yeah, anyway, the whole thing seemed like it could be a real trap game. And it was. It was. But it was made all the worse by the apparent unraveling of one of our better starters right before our eyes. I don't really know how you fix that. I don't really know how you pull up from that nosedive, if it's confidence-based, or if you're getting away from your pitch combo that is your bread and butter and that got you paid with your big contract. If you're getting away from that 3 months into your first year in that contract, oof. Now, Kevin is a very good pitcher and has a long track record of success, so there's every reason to believe that he'll pull out of it. But right now, I can't have the same confidence in his starts that I had at the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year felt like he was an automatic win. Man, now not so much, right? So, that concludes the cream puff portion of the schedule. We had 10 straight games against bottom-feeding teams like Kansas City, Detroit, and Baltimore, and we finished those 10 games 6-4. And that is okay on an island, but in the context of the Yankees are coming to town and things are about to get a lot more difficult in a hurry, that's not good enough. 7-3. If we'd won today, 7-3, it's hard to feel bad about 7-3. 6-4... it's just one game difference, but I don't need to remind anyone that is the margin of error that we lost the playoffs in last year. So yes, I'm continuing to feel like the Blue Jays are not putting away bad teams. And I understand that Baltimore is better than they appear. I understand that they're feisty, and they are the best of the last place teams, and you can't expect to curb stomp bad teams every time you feel like it. You just can't. But we're coming into a series against the Yankees at home. We are throwing Stripling, Manoah, and Kikuchi. So we're coming into tomorrow night's game, and it feels like tomorrow night is the rubber game. You look at the Manoah game, and you're like, all right, we'll probably be able to pull that one out. You look at the Kikuchi game, and you're like, yeah, we're probably going to lose that game. So tomorrow, the first game of the series, that's the rubber game. That's a lot of pressure to put on a team that just found a way to be one Brandon Hyde terrible decision away from losing a 4-game series against the Orioles. Seriously, they let a big lead slip away in the third game of this series, and only Brandon Hyde forgetting who Vlad Guerrero was. That's the only reason why the Blue Jays came away with that win, in my eyes. So absent that one terrible managerial decision, the Blue Jays could have been looking at losing 3 of 4 in the series, and then how would we feel? They didn't. They're 6-4. Okay, and we're still 11 games over 500, and okay, and we're still in second place in the division. Okay, but you're looking for reasons to feel confident. You're looking for reasons to feel like we have momentum. You're looking for reasons to feel like we can go up against a team like the Yankees that has won 13 games in a row at home and has won 6 games in a row overall and just look like they're about to have the best regular season since the 2001 Mariners. And how are we supposed to feel good about that? Not many reasons. There's not many reasons to feel good about that right now. Based on this last couple weeks, the offense is doing well. The offense is good. Manoah's great. Barrios looks like he's found it. Bullpen's mostly rested? I don't know. I'm stretching. So yeah, tomorrow, the most important game of the series because, Manoah, for whatever reason, seems to find another gear against the Yankees, so I feel confident about that one. Kikuchi is going to get crushed. We're going to lose that game very badly. Very, very badly. Tomorrow night is the game that could go either way. And, yeah. Baseball! So fun and relaxing. Okay, that's it. It's like 30 plus degrees outside. It's like at least 30 plus degrees in this room. I got a lot of lights on. It's a hot setup here and visibly melting. So that's it for me for this one. Thank you very much for watching this video and this channel and for letting me vent my emotions at you. I appreciate that. I'll probably have more of those in the next 3 days as the Yankees come to town. Hooray.